name is Ekaterina. Welcome to Apprentice of Silence YouTube channel. Today is another day of those weird moods where you've been digging so much in your past that you're like, I don't even know who I am anymore. You start to feel so much nostalgia. But there's like no point. Like I'm looking at a lace curtain and I feel warmth, but it's not relevant anymore. So it's like you should take this inspiration or feeling of nostalgia and create something new. And yet, what I assume is fear of change holds me back. A mood song for today is Warm Coffee, the Market song. I'll link it down below. It's a very soft song. Talks about softness. I feel like I'm carrying so much on my shoulders and that it's not allowed to release that. Like I'm not supposed to let it go. Because if I let go, then I just forgive. If I forgive, then the loop will never end because I haven't made enough changes. Maybe that's just justification to not make the changes. I started light therapy at the hospital today for healing my eczema. I don't know. It's just, I feel like I don't know who I am. I feel like I don't know which way to go, what to do. I feel like releasing would make it mean that I am completely alone. Have you ever noticed when you're like, not careless, but you're like, yeah, I don't really care. Almost a little bit rude. Almost like, what you gonna do about it? That attitude. People kind of almost respect you. And then when you're being vulnerable, people just assume you don't know shit and look at you like you're an idiot, and you feel that energy and you become an idiot. Like at the hospital, this lady was looking at me like she's explaining something to a fool. And I was like, oh, okay, I can be a fool if you want to. And I've never figured out in my life why I do that. I'm hearing in my mind that it's a desperate plea for love. And if I'm a fool, you won't hurt me. So it's like a safety mechanism too. But up until a point, if you hurt me enough, then I turn cold. But neither of it is softness. Like, I can be soft and still remember how badass I am. Or remember that I am intelligent in some aspects of life. Or at least that I'm responsible. It's also weird, like perceptions. I'm assuming this nurse at the hospital looked at me like I was an irresponsible child, and that she had to explain things to me again and again. Like, there was this box with my name on it that you're supposed to put your glasses in when you're doing the light treatment, whatever. And she left the box in the room we were in. And she told me, bring your glasses when you get out of here. So I brought my glasses, I go to her and she's like, did you bring the box? And then she patted me on the shoulder and we went back together to get the box. Bitch. And I was like, oh yeah, now I'm a child who doesn't know anything. Why do I do that? But then overlay is what I heard now. Like, my perception is not a complete, accurate reflection of reality. See, I guess I try to play the hurt card, even if I don't look hurt right now, because the skin is better. But if I act as if I'm not hurt, then people are gonna ruin me. Like, tear me up from the inside, abandon me, and throw me away. The only reason I'm allowed to act tough is when I'm hurting, but it shows. Like when I have big wounds and, I don't know, swollen face, or if I'm dealing with something really difficult, like, I don't know, if I'm at some serious place, like I don't know, governmental building, office, police thing, university institution, like those places, there I'm allowed and required to be tough and badass. But if I feel fine, I'm not allowed to be badass or confident or certain of my own values and rules, because because then I'm looked at like I'm a nasty bitch that no one wants to help. And that's what I was so scared about today, this morning. I was scared that because my skin looks better, no one will want to help me. And I felt desperate because my skin is not good. My condition is not good. And I do need assistance and help from doctors. But my skin is like a dog at a, what's it called? A show. You know, if you have a dog that's like really smart and they know they're supposed to act their best at a show, and they always do, but at home they're like, there is no point for me to behave. Like, and then when somebody, like a stranger comes around, they're like, oh, look at me, I'm the most perfect dog ever. And you're like, okay. Sneaky bastard. That's my skin. At the worst cases, it's like, look, I'm healed. And I'm like, nah, you're not. You just look like it. And backstabbing me by looking good because I need help. And then the skin is like, do you though? I want help. But do I? Like, there is this huge part of me that's like, look, you can heal yourself. You don't need no one. I don't think we should continue going. I mean, we will continue to go, but so it's almost like I'm manipulatively trying to get people to care. Even at times where everything looks good. So I'm making myself a victim? Well, that sounds nasty. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be a person who's like, oh, look at me, I'm in pain, save me. So it would make sense that that's an aspect of myself that I push away. So subconsciously it manifests situations where it gets its needs met. What needs would that part of me want? To get taken care of. To be held. To feel safe. To be able to depend on others. To know where they stand. Like a very stable caretaker. That's very like a mountain stable. So This probably talks back to when that need wasn't met in childhood. When I didn't have a strong caretaker that I could depend on. I guess it makes sense, but I still kind of have no respect for victims. Wow, that's an awful thing to say. Why would I not have respect for victims? They didn't do anything. So that would mean that they were powerless in the situation, meaning they were weak. That's not fair. If I was a victim to abuse, that doesn't make me weak. But it's like a coping strategy. Like victim mentality wouldn't get me anywhere. It wouldn't, like nobody was there enough to care for when I fell into the victim role. I didn't fall into the victim role. I was the victim. It was just that this social group where I grew up, nobody acknowledged me as victim, because if they acknowledged me as victim, they would have to look at the dynamic that was built in the social group that they themselves were an attribute to because of their upbringing where they were a victim to harsh, isolated people. But that's so weird, because if I meet a child now that's in pain, that's super lonely, I wonder what I would tell that child. Like, I feel like I would probably just sit there with the child for the rest of my life, but I wonder if there is a part of me that's trying to keep that child safe, so it's gonna blame the child for being a victim, so that the blaming will motivate it to grow up and be strong. This is so weird. These are like my parents' words. I didn't even consciously realize I'm thinking like this until now. Yeah, being a victim is not okay. So I separated from the victim aspect of myself and operated from the no one can really hurt me, I don't care, and life is what it is. People get over their shit. That's the aspect of me that kept me safe. But that aspect doesn't get the needs met of the other part that I suppress. So this fragment happened because there wasn't a figure that I could lean on for support. So I had to identify with an aspect of me that didn't need support at all. But in covert ways, the suppressed part of me still lashes on to people in manipulative ways to get support, making me look weaker than I am so that they can treat me like a child and take care of me. But since this is not conscious and manipulative, instead, people feel like I'm leashing onto them and they become pissed instead. Ooh, I hate this part of myself. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I wonder if I can find compassion for the child who didn't have support, instead of trying to oppress her even more by, you don't need support. Children need support, right? But this is so foreign to me, like, what do you mean support? You're not gonna get support. Who gets support in life? No one. But taking this aspect as a part of me, this aspect that needs support, I will probably have to ask directly for support. Help with homework. Yeah, that was traumatic. For sure. And allow myself to feel that pain. See, why would I do this? Because your only point of creation is in reality. Meaning you have to own your reality. Meaning you have to be aware of all aspects of self. And there is an aspect of you that manipulates people for support. It comes up rarely. But when you're afraid that people won't give you the help that you desperately need, you'll turn to that. Don't shame yourself. Oh, I'm trying to shame myself. This is just one part of you that does that. And it has valid reasons to do that. But it's just one part. It's not all of who you are. See, the positive aspect is that being able to ask for support enables great relationships where people depend upon each other, because we are a dependent species. Like, we depend upon each other. So asking directly for support and saying, this is what I can't do by myself, admitting that there are things you can't do by yourself, makes it clearer for yourself what you really need in relationships. And you can ask for that specifically. Like, I need support to make sure that the outside doesn't attack me. I lacked a protector against my antagonist. I lacked someone who would come in and say, no, this is not how you treat a child. So my only way of, getting some sort of support was to even more put attention on how hurt I was. And I mean, I am hurt, so it's not a complete lie. It's just, since what I want is support, healing will never occur in where the hurt is. So I see why my eczema doesn't heal. I don't want it to heal. I want support. I want someone to protect me. Fuck, this sucks. To integrate this as a part of myself, this fucking sucks. Yeah. Hope this gave you guys some food for thought. Thank you. Mi corazón al desbordarte me coraví que olivari kishmondavan el dorishvadi en mondara varishki vori ondoshdila kivo indori endoshdava kiori mwari endoriva endoshti vashti ki ondishva.